And good morning from the Alpine guy out here in southern Idaho. Wind's blowing at 25, gusting to 30, so not going to be able to do anything outside on the fifth wheel today. But I did have one project that I've been wanting to do for the last year. And so we'll get up here. This is above one of my main living room slides. And you can see the wallpaper after 10 years is buckled a little bit. And we can see that the seam has come loose a little bit. And the first thing somebody's going to say, oh my, you got water damage leak and all that. No, I don't. If you look behind the wood, where you can see the wood at, you don't see no water stains, no damage. What causes this is on my Alpine, it sits here parked when we're not using it, and the sun shines and beats on it, particularly the months of July and August, because we usually don't go anywhere during those months. And it beats on this side in the evening, so we get the west hot sun, and so that's what's caused this. I'm probably not going to be able to get all of the wrinkling out because a part of it is right underneath the crown molding, and I can feel right here is a brad nail, and there's another brad nail right here, and I'm really hesitant to pry this crown molding loose. I think I will just leave that alone, and we'll see if we can't work this out and get it a little bit better. We also have a little pucker here, and I think we might be able to work that out. And right back here, we have the same thing, all on the one side that gets all the direct sun. And I'm not an interior decorator. I hate painting, but I do it for the wife because I love her. And I don't like wallpaper at all. But from what I've read and from what I've heard and from what the wife is telling me, I'll just take a hair dryer and heat this up. But before I do that, everywhere where I've got a little pucker in here, I'm going to take and make just a little cut with a very sharp box cutter knife. And then I can heat this up lightly with a hair dryer, and I'll use a plastic squeegee and see if we can't get this wallpaper to work out a little bit. At least get it to where it's a little bit more cosmetically pretty than what it is right now. And I have no idea if this venture will work, but we'll give it a go. And if it does work, we'll put the little short video up there showing you how we did it. I am going to use plastic scrapers, not metal ones. Actually, these are plastic putty knives. Got my box cutter here, and I've broke off the blade, so I've got a nice sharp one. And I've got the wife's smaller hair dryer. She's got a bigger one in there that could heat up half of Idaho, but we'll use this one today. And looking at this, I think we'll start back here on this small area first to see if it's even going to do anything. And then we'll work this forward to the seam, and then this piece of paper, wallpaper, goes underneath the joint and the other one overlaps it. So we'll be careful to try to assemble it back like that. So we'll see if this little venture works. Well, after working this area over for 3 or 4 minutes, we got most of the pucker out. I could have gotten all of that pucker out if I had popped loose that crown molding up there, but I'm not going to do that for a minor cosmetic thing like this that nobody's going to see but us, and we got better things to be doing than worrying about that. But it all smoothed out pretty darn good because this was all buckled right in here. We'll zoom in a little bit more, and I think that looks pretty good. And then back right in this area, we had a pucker, and we were able to get all of that out. So that looks good. And so right now, I have one more section right there, and you can see the puckers. So we're going to work that over just a little bit with her hair dryer and a plastic putty knife and see. And if you notice up top, you'll see these trim strips that go across the joints on the ceiling, and that white vinyl covering has puckered a little bit. So I'm going to try that too, just a little bit with the heat gun or with her hair dryer and plastic putty knife, and see what it does. We got nothing to lose. Well, overall we made that look a little bit better. And we'll just have to see what happens later in the summer when this wall heats back up over here. And if we have problems with it, it's something that we might address. It's just to fix it, it's going to mean I've got to drop that strip of crown molding up there to do it right, in my opinion, because the existing wallpaper is run up underneath that crown molding. And we could rip that off of there from back here at this edge and all the way up to here, or maybe up right to the next seam, which is just before the door opening. And we could replace that if we can match the wallpaper. If not, it's one of those things where it's an RV owner's just got to decide, you know, it's a cosmetic thing. You're only going to see it when you walk in here and stand over on the kitchen side and you look up in the air at the ceiling. And quite frankly, I have better things to be looking at than that. But, you know, it's to each his own what they choose to do. But we'll give this a go, and it does look better. Whether or not the contact glue that was left on the back side of this 10-year-old original RV wallpaper stays will remain to be seen during the summer months. So we'll see what it does. And that just gives you an idea of a repair. And on these vertical strips up here that cover the joint sections from the ceiling, you know, there's one, and there's one, and there's another one back there. If I start having problems with this vinyl covering on these coming off, then what I'm going to do is pull that entire piece off, and I'll take it and paint it with a nice off-white epoxy enamel, nice gloss color, or satin, whichever blends best with the existing ceiling material. And I'll put it back up, and I won't have to worry about this nonsense anymore with this vinyl covering. But it's held up well, considering the Alpine is now on its 10th season. So there you go. That's all you get today from the Alpine guy out here in Idaho.